day brings, and with every step you take, bless the progress that you make. Reason you live, found in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Oh, the places you will go and the people you will know. Don't worry when or where or how. You don't have to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what this day brings. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. You don't have to work it out. Just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So take a breath and have a breath and smile. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things.
Please help me anchor this by saying, and so it is. Awesome. Good morning, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. Thanks for taking a few moments to join us today. Hopefully we've got some really fun stuff today. So thank you for joining us. Now, I'm going to light 2 candles today. And the first candle is going to be for our moms, or that energy who are no longer on the planet, but still deserve that recognition and that love and those thoughts that we have today. And so I'm going to invite you on both the candles to say your person on your heart, say their name out loud. Bring their energy into the room for yourself, and feel free to throw them into the comments for Facebook. So the first candle for those who are no longer with us. Then our second candle, that's the candle that we're going to light for all those women who are still here, for all those moms and that energy that we get to pick up our phone and call, or maybe we get to wave to them today across the yard, or maybe you're lucky enough that she's actually in the house with you. So again, say these names out loud. Let's bring this energy in. And so we would like to, because it's important, and we always say it on Sunday, we want to revisit our purpose, our vision, and our mission statements. So again, you're home. Please say this out loud. Stand up. Feel it. But our purpose, what's our reason for being here? We awaken and inspire love and oneness. So our vision, what do we want to create or become? We are an empowered, uplifting, inclusive community. And of course, our mission, how are we going to do this? We teach spiritual transformation with grace and joy. Kind of looking to see if Joy's going to run up here. So our sacred reading today, so our practitioner students are kind of coming in across the finish line, and so we're challenging them to do different things. And one of them was to pick the sacred reading for today. So today's sacred reading was picked by Zoe. It comes from the Chicken Soup for the Mother's Soul, and it was submitted by the Best of Bits and Pieces. A young woman named Mary gave birth to her first child, and because her husband was on military duty, she spent a couple of weeks after the birth at the home of her parents. One day, Mary mentioned to her mother that she was surprised that the baby's hair was reddish, when both her and her husband were blonde. "Well, Mary," said her mother, "you must remember that your daddy's hair is red." "But Mama," said Mary, "that doesn't make any difference because I'm adopted." With a little smile, Mama said the loveliest words that her daughter had ever heard. "I always forget."
We have come here as we
Awesome. That's great. It felt like we had a full house. It was like, that's the kind of energy you bring to the table, Jessica. Aaron, thank you so much. It reminds me of this little quote that being a mother is an attitude, not a biological relation. So good morning. Happy Mother's Day. Welcome to the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living. We welcome you in all forms. So whether you're in our parking lot or on Facebook or one of the people here helping to create this. Gosh, what a great day to be here and to celebrate. And so one of the things that we talk about every Sunday is prayer. And so now that in this new format, it's, you just can't tap a practitioner on the shoulder and you can't really put your prayer request in the box, but you can click the prayer request on the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living website. And I promise you those prayer requests get out to all the practitioners pretty quickly. So whatever's on your heart, on your mind, whether it's something you want to celebrate or perhaps there's something that you just need some prayer support around, Bob, feel free to enter those prayers. I was giving Bob a hard time. He was talking about something, and I was like, sounds like a prayer request. So, and I also want to say, we're kind of in this, we usually welcome people who are new to our community, and I realize that we're not quite in that place where we can do that right now. But if you're new, send us an email, and we'll send you one of our welcome packets. If you like what you see, then reach out to us, and let's give you some more information about what it is that we believe and what we do here, and the love and support, and the amazing music and messages. Okay, so I have one announcement today. So as we all know, this virus, so we are in phase 2 within the city of Anchorage, where the mayor has said that there can be gatherings of 50 people or more, but there's a lot of conditions around that. And so we are trying to figure out how that could work here. But in the meantime, we want to do this right. We don't want to open up and do something wrong or whatever. So please bear with us. We're going to stay in this format for the foreseeable future until we've got all the little nuances of being able to open up figured out. And of course, as soon as we have that figured out, you guys are going to be the first to know. So the second announcement today, I love technology. So we usually celebrate birthdays. Well, I don't have Zoe and I don't have the birthday list, but what I do have is the most amazing video ever.
Hi, it's everyone's favorite time of the month, birthdays! Woo! On the first is Karen Valera Sherman. Woo! On the second is Lyric Bates. Woo! On the fourth is Heather Eldred. Woo! On the ninth is Bernie Seagull. Woo! On the 11th is Beverly Churchill. Woo! On the 14th is Asher Johnston. Also on the 14th is Jessica Bauman. Woo! Also on the 14th, Judith Mack. Woo! On the 15th, Sarah Harris. Woo! On the 18th, Daniel Rhodes. Woo! On the 23rd, Kevin Norton. Woo! On the 24th, Juan Valera. 25th, Herb Hancock. Woo! The 26th, Boaz Snyderman. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Karen, Lyric, Heather, Bernie, Beverly, Asher, Jessica, Judith, Sarah, Daniels, Kevin, Juan, Herb, Boaz. Happy birthday to you.
And so we just want to say thank you to Zoe for putting that together for us, and the 512 people who have birthdays in May. Happy birthday. And now for some special music.
And this one's for my mom, Chris. I close my eyes, I open my heart, I take a deep breath, let the healing start. I lift my hands, I plant my feet, I let love in, I feel the beat that's calling, calling, calling us to rise. Rise, spirit, rise up, rise and be. I ready my soul, I clear my mind. I'm here and now, in present time. I feel the power of 1,000 suns lighting up the dark. Oh, we rise as one. Oh, rise, rise, spirit, rise up, rise and be. Oh, rise, rise, spirit, rise up, rise and be, rise and be. I sing to you, you sing to me. Change up this noise, make sweet harmony. Come on and rise, oh rise, spirit rise up, rise and be, oh rise, rise, spirit rise up, rise and be, rise and be. Heart to heart, hand in hand, no turning back, onward to promised land. Do you feel the power of 1,000 suns lighting up the dark? Oh, we rise as one. Love's calling, calling out your name. Love's calling, that's why we came. Love's calling, calling out your name. Love's calling, it's why we came. Come on and rise, rise, spirit, rise up, rise and be. Oh, rise, come on and rise, oh spirit, rise up, rise and be, rise and be.
Well, good morning. Welcome to the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living, and thank you for welcoming us to your home. What an honor it is to be welcomed into your homes. So thank you very much. And also, happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. Okay. We are back to Sunday Morning Live. But I promise I'm not going to do a drinking Clorox video like they did last night on Saturday Night Live. I had begun to tell a powerful story that Brene Brown told in her book, what is it, Making a Leader. Oh, now we've got feedback. To the story. Okay. Brene had delivered a presentation at Fort Bragg and was on her way home to Houston. And this trip had been organized with military precision because she had a very important event in Houston that night. Her daughter was having their senior game of field hockey. And Brene had supported her daughter all the way through high school. This was a really big deal for the daughter and for Brene as well. So Brene made sure everything was right. She double-checked the arrival times. Everything was right. They were going to leave Fort Bragg in X amount of time, drive for 71.4 miles to the Wilmington airport. They were going to catch the plane at X time. They had an hour and a half of cushion time in there. They even had extra time for lunch at the airport. Everything was done with military precision. And everything worked exactly like it was supposed to until they started to board. Everybody lined up. We're still in plenty of time when the boarding process stopped. And everyone waited, and the gate agent opened up and said, there has been a slight delay. Plane's going to be delayed for 10 minutes because of a mechanical problem. Brene said, that's fine, it's okay. I have plenty of time dealt in case there's a plane. We've got cushion time. Let's wait. And then she saw the pilot come out and talk to the gate agent, and she knew right then and there something wasn't good. So she talked to her partner, and she said, find another flight now. And this gal that she talked to is amazing, and she got on her laptop and started searching like mad, and she said, Brene, the best I can do would be to get us there at 10 o'clock tonight. And she said, that's too late. The game is over. And Brene asked, how did you know the flight was going to be canceled? At which point the gate agent said, the flight has been canceled, and all the people flooded to the gate. They immediately called their office back in Houston, began looking for other ways to get back there that night in time for the game. Nothing was coming through. She said, we can do this, we can do this. We've got Plan B. Plan B was my friend Cookie is going to come over to our house and pick up the fatheads and the flowers. Oh, fatheads. In case you don't know what fatheads are, it is a company that makes a big picture, I'll say it that way, a very large picture, and it has sticky in the back. It's like a Post-it note, and you can put it on your walls. You know, I wanted a fathead. I had this great idea. I was going to get a John Elway fathead, and put it in our bedroom. And for some reason, vetoed it. I can never figure out why she did not support having a John Elway fathead in our bedroom. I mean, she's a blue blood. I mean, she's a Bronco fan. Her father had season tickets going back to 1964. That is a true blue blood Bronco fan, and yet she didn't want John Elway in our bedroom. So, but I digress. Brene got these fatheads, and what she did is she got pictures of all of the girls and had them blown up and put on a cardboard, kind of like what we have here. Isn't this great? This is awesome. Bob, thank you. And there were 20 of them, on a stick, and they could hold up these pictures that were 2 feet wide, 3 feet tall of each one of the girls. So her friend Cookie was going to go pick up the fatheads and the flowers, and they had this great ceremony planned at halftime. All of the seniors, this would be their last game ever, would come out, and their parents would come out and walk across the field and present them with flowers. So they still had time. Cookie could do her thing, but we just had to find a way. But Renee's friend and companion, the COO of the company, was right. There was no way to get home. And Renee was crushed. She went into the only place she could find in the airport where she had some privacy, and it was the little gift shop, and she started to sob uncontrollably, and the lady at the gift shop asked her if it was if there was something wrong, and she couldn't even talk. She ended up going behind a circular thing of bright colored T-shirts and just hunkering down and crying. And it was from behind the T-shirts that she texted her daughter and told her that she wasn't going to be there. She didn't want to call her because she didn't want to fall apart in the middle of her daughter's preparation for the game. But she did make her phone call to her husband, Steve, and told him, and he said, "Don't worry, dear. I'll get the pictures there. I'll work with Cookie. We'll get the fatheads. We'll take care of it." And then she got a text from her daughter, and I want to read it. And "I'm sorry about your flight, TBH," which I found out later stands for "to be honest. I know that you were freaking out, but this is one night, and you've come to 100 games and practiced with me and made me go to camp when I didn't want to go and hosted parties and took my entire team to Galveston. That's what counts. I love you so much. I'll tell Dad to take lots of pictures." The title of my talk today is Listen to Your Heart. And if I could give you a capsule of what today's talk is all about, just in 2 sentences, it would be this. There is a prenatal mother-child connection that is made. And it is that connection which is our touch point with the divine. That is our touch point with our higher power, God, Spirit, whatever you choose to call it. It is that touch point that we can touch the eternal. My 2 talking points today come from What We Believe by Ernest Holmes. The first is, we believe that heaven is within us, and we experience it to the degree that we are conscious of it. Again, we believe that heaven is within us, and we experience it, heaven, to the extent that we become conscious of it. If we're not conscious of it, we can't experience it. So our job here is to become conscious of that indwelling presence. And my second point is, we believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. First of all, we believe that heaven is within us, and we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. The first sensory development in a fetus is that of sound. The baby hears the mother's heartbeat, and it is this primal sound which is the wisdom and guidance of the divine. But the heart is so much more than a blood pump. It has its own intelligence. The heart sends neurological information to the brain and the rest of the body. That's right. There are brain cells in the heart, and they connect with one another. Also, the heart interacts with the rest of the body on a biochemical level. The heart releases atrial peptides, which is a hormone that inhibits the release of other stress hormones. And thirdly, The heart emits an electromagnetic field which encompasses the entire body and actually goes beyond. This electromagnetic field extends out. Have you ever had the sensation of being around someone and it just didn't feel right? You didn't feel comfortable being any closer to that person. Sometimes we're squished in at athletic games and other things, and it's difficult for us to get close to some people. That's because we have differences in our vibrational frequency that is this electromagnetic field that is within the heart. And this electromagnetic field of the heart is 10 times more powerful than that field is from the brain. The heart is much more than a blood pump. And it is from the heart that we have that connection with something greater. My second point is that we believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature. And anyone can become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with that indwelling God. When we are in the practice of listening to our hearts, we can be with others in a more authentic and compassionate way. Sometimes we think that in order to have a connection with our higher power, that we need to do certain things. We have to be a certain way. There are things that have to happen. That's not necessarily the case. These are our prejudgments. These are the things that we set inside. These are the conditions that we put up for our ability to connect with the divine. Sometimes those people that we looked at as maybe as challenged or have opportunities for growth in ways that we don't anticipate have a much easier time of connecting with that truth of who they are than we do with all of our other things. We tend to get so distracted in our world. Our to-do lists are so big that we never sit down and connect with that heart intelligence that we have. A lady by the name of Kathleen Dyer Bolduc submitted a story in Guidepost this month. It just came out Friday. Ours came in the mail Friday. And the story in there is really powerful. She went with her son. His name was Joel. And Kathleen and Joel went to go visit her mother-in-law, who is in the Alzheimer's wing of a senior living facility. And her little boy was so excited. He was just bouncing off the walls, and he had a little picture album that he had made himself. And he was just so excited. Now, little Joel is autistic, and Kathleen didn't know how he was going to react with Grandma, because her memory had changed some over time, and she just didn't know how all this was going to unfold. And she was approaching this visit with dread, frankly. And they arrived at the nursing home, and she said a quick prayer, and they got out of the car. Joel was bouncing off the walls. He ran in. He was in the door first, and they came in, and the first thing that she noticed was the smell of disinfectant and cafeteria food. And she just thought, oh, no. But little Joel says, wow, Mom, hamburgers. That's my favorite food. And she thought, yeah, Joel, that's hamburgers. And so they went in, and Joel darted past the nurse's station. Joel, come back, come back. And we go down this wing, and so they started walking down, and there was a lady in a wheelchair, and Joel went bursting by, and she says, you stop there, young man. And he kind of froze, and she says, I want a hug. And Kathleen didn't know how little Joel was going to react to that. But he kind of smiled, and the lady reached out and gave him a big hug. And before it was done, he had to end up giving a hug to the lady next to her as well. And Kathleen had been so afraid that he was going to react negatively to someone entering his space, but instead he welcomed the hugs. And they finally got to Grandma's room, and Grandma was in her favorite rocking chair that she'd had for many, many, many years, and she was asleep. And Kathleen was thinking, well, maybe that's better. We'll just let her doze. But not little Joel. He went right up to her, and he started crawling on her lap. And, of course, she was startled, and she woke up, and Kathleen could see there was no recognition there, and she was thinking, who is this strange little boy crawling onto my lap? But he was so excited. He had his picture book with him. And he opened it up and he says, Grandma, I want to show you these pictures. And this is me, and this is my mom, and this is you. And he started going through the picture book, and she thought she could detect through almost the fear and the unfamiliarity what was going on, a small smile was starting to spread across her face. And he started pointing out different people, which Grandma didn't recognize, but he pointed out who they were, and the smile got bigger and bigger. And finally, he got to the end, and he says, and this is my favorite part. This is the highlight of the whole thing. It was his black lab, Poco. And here's Poco. And with that, Grandma burst into a nice laugh. And the two of them sat there in the kindest, most wonderful hug. And Kathleen realized then that the importance of this transaction, this thing that had happened before her eyes, where she had been so much afraid that things were going to be negative, that Grandma wouldn't recognize Joel, and Grandma wouldn't recognize the people, and Grandma wouldn't know all this stuff. What Joel saw was he didn't care. All Joel saw was that Grandma was happy and Grandma was laughing, and that made him happy. And as she thought about the whole day, she thought about, wow, Joel's got it right. I came in here and smelled disinfectant and cafeteria food. He smelled hamburgers. I was afraid for other people invading his space, and he saw hugs. And I saw Grandma that I was afraid wouldn't be able to be who she used to be and wouldn't be what she could be. And he saw her in the moment, and he saw her as someone that he loved. So you see, when we can live in that space, that heart space, that space of connection with that power that is greater than we are, we can go to that place and we can connect with one another in the most authentic way possible. I like to leave everyone with a takeaway, the one thing I want you to remember. But today I'm going to leave you with something a little different. For many of us, this Mother's Day is going to be an interesting one. Most of us will be celebrating without the hugs, the gatherings, the delicious ham, and the scalloped potatoes that we normally enjoy. Not to mention more people than usual are probably worried about their moms. And moms are worried about their children, of course. And don't forget, for those who are missing their moms, or maybe don't have the greatest relationship with them, that Mother's Day isn't exactly a fancy card and big bouquet holiday that it is for others. Mother's Day can be complicated, especially now. And that's okay. It just means that we need to get more creative in the ways that we show our love, and remember to reach out to those who need a little extra comfort. It's the motherly thing to do. And so with our awareness of that divine mother that resides within each and every one of us, I turn to my colleagues, practitioners, and I invite them to join me now in holding our congregation, holding our city and our state, our nation, holding the entire world in love and light, and simply recognizing that within each and every one of us there is that magical touch point. There is that beautiful, wonderful place within our hearts where we can recognize and embrace our higher power. We can embrace the divine. We can embrace God. And so we know that all of these things that we judge are all temporary. That the thing that is permanent is the very love of God. The love of a mother for her child, the love of a child for its mother. These are permanent. These never change. And so we can just give thanks. We give thanks to our awareness of that indwelling God, that indwelling Spirit, that indwelling higher power. We give thanks, and we can rest assured that our lives are now filled with the very love of God. So we give thanks, we let it be, we let it go, and so it is. Amen.
In this house of love, we come together, one with Spirit in our hearts. In this house of love, we are connected, we are perfected in God's light, and we shine, yes we shine, as bright as the stars above. We shine, yes we shine, we shine in this house of love, in this house of love. We are family, brothers and sisters in this world, in this house of love. We seek the wisdom that tells us the truth, and we're assured, and we shine, yes we shine, as bright as the stars above. We shine, yes we shine, we shine in this house of love.
Thank you, Jessica. Now is the time in the service where we are afforded the opportunity to participate in another one of our spiritual practices, that being the law of circulation. I never know. I'm supposed to be in charge, and I don't have a clue. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. We do have, though, during the collection, a very special video today. So, if you will join me in our affirmation. You know, our tradition here, for those of you who don't know us, who may be watching, we believe in this thing called the law of circulation, and what we give out is what we get back. We believe in circulating money, all kinds of things. So what we do at our center is we have ladies, we have a collection with the basket, but we also have people who are here to pass out affirmations. So I am going to put in my pledge card, and I am going to take out an affirmation. And this is on behalf of everyone today. You know, these always hit the spot. And today, my affirmation is, make it happen. We may have had a few hiccups today, but we made it happen. So if you would join me in our affirmation today, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, and so it is. Make it happen.
Wow, so special thanks to everyone who helped pull that video together, and extra special thanks to Aaron for making it all happen and look amazing. So today, as we close out our service, we have a touch point with the divine, allowing us to be authentic and passionate. And when we become conscious of the heaven within, we can become a revealer of truth. So today, who needs to see your pet photos? Who needs a virtual hug? But most of all, who do you need to tell, I love you so much? Please help me anchor this by saying, and so it is.
Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit is in this place.
affirmation today. I salute the Divine Mother in everyone,
I salute the Divine Mother in everyone,
including myself.
including myself.
And so it is.
And so it is. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise.